Why not start where you are? You know, one of the organizations we researched for this book, Creativity Unleashed, their goal is to end poverty globally within the next 30 years. But they didn't start there. They didn't start there. And one of the most intriguing things about the launch of my latest book has been people saying, Jonathan, you give me a path. You give me a place to start. I always thought creativity and innovation was sort of reserved for the people who just, they see things bigger and they're changing the world. And the answer is sort of yes, they are, but they rarely start with that. They start where they are. They start where they are. This chapter, End Poverty in 30 Years, talks about Muhammad Yunus. Muhammad Yunus, he didn't decide to end poverty within 30 years when he got started. He was teaching economics, and he walked past a group of some of the poorest people on the planet every day to go grab lunch or to go to his office to teach economics in a university in Bangladesh. And he finally decided one day that I'm teaching these theories, but the people I walk by on my way to lunch, they're living a different reality. And he started to stop and talk with the people he passed by. Mother Teresa put it this way, I think it's beautiful, brilliant, and very challenging. She said, it's become fashionable to talk about the poor. Unfortunately, it has not become fashionable to talk with the poor. And Muhammad Yunus, that's what he started doing. He started stopping and talking to these people. And one of the women, a woman named Sophia, he finds out that she makes wicker chairs, but she has an arrangement with essentially a loan shark, if you will, who he lends her the money to make a chair. She makes the chair. The agreement is he pays her back with interest, 10% per week interest, and he gets to buy the chair at a predetermined price, at his price. And she's stuck in this little cycle of make a wicker chair and you got to give it to this guy and pay, and she can't get out of this cycle. And Muhammad Yunus, talking with Sophia, finds out that she needs 22 cents to buy wicker to make a chair, and then she could sell it at a fair market value. And he does this, and she repays him 22 cents. The repayment of a 22-cent loan gets Sophia out of the cycle. Muhammad Yunus didn't start saying we could end poverty within 30 years. He started talking with one person who needed some help. And your next jump in creativity, my next jump in creativity or innovation, whether it's in our community, family, lives, very often is right that. Start right there. Start where you are. Start where you are. Muhammad Yunus lends her this money, and he finds a few other people and talks with them as well and finds out what they need, and he does the same thing. And eventually he starts this little tiny bank lending to the poorest of the poor, Grameen Bank. And now Grameen Bank lends out over $100 million per month globally. And their mission is to help people get out of poverty. But he didn't start there. He didn't start there. He started where he was, because most of us, everyone I talk to seems to have this pull, and they don't always talk about it, but they have this pull towards something amazing, something incredible, towards greatness, towards a contribution that it feels too big. Quite often it feels too big. And that's why sometimes we don't even say it out loud, because we're thinking, I should do something about that, whatever that is. But then very often, Creativity Unleashed, we assume creativity, innovation, changing the world is for someone else to do, or it's too big for us. But what if you do what Muhammad Yunus did? What if you start exactly where you are? And you say, okay, that bothers me. That's something that I wish somebody would do something about that. I wish somebody would impact that. And you start where you are. You start with that 22-cent loan. You start with, building a relationship with that one person. You start with changing the way that one meeting is run. You start with changing the way you communicate with that one person or in that one interaction. You start where you are. You start where you are. You start where you are. See, one of the things we found in the research for this book was that the most creative people, the most innovative people and organizations and leaders in history, they tend to have an expectation that there's an answer to their question, that the problem can be solved. But quite often that expectation, that belief, that expectancy, it starts as a tiny seed. But they let that seed take root. They water that seed. They nurture that seed. They protect that seed. They take action where they are. And that allows that seed to start growing. And they don't maybe see it as big. Maybe at first they have a glimpse of something massive, something incredible. Muhammad Yunus started thinking, wow, what if you could end poverty in this town or in this city or in this country? But he started where he was. What if I could help one person? What if I could help one person get out of poverty? Start where you are. When we change the questions we pursue, it changes everything.